Waking up in the middle of an empty field, 6 strangers discover they've been thrown into a deadly game. An unseen hunter is stalking them, determined to kill, but with the few items they've been given, they just might have a chance to survive.
Is no way out.
Waking up in the middle of a vast cornfield, a young woman named Sam has no idea how or why she ended up there. She doesn't feel safe. Someone clearly kidnapped her and left her in a place she's never seen before. Somewhere nearby, something is rustling in the stalks, slowly getting closer. Not knowing how dangerous it might be, she searches for anything she could use to defend herself and finds a revolver and a single bullet. Bracing for a confrontation with her captor, she aims toward the sound, only to come face to face with an equally terrified man. It turns out that Tyler is in the exact same situation as Sam. He woke up in the field just minutes earlier, with no memory of the last few hours. Sam immediately suspects that Tyler is the kidnapper behind some twisted game, but he denies it. And he has a point. He wouldn't have let her find a loaded weapon if he were the one responsible. Instead of a gun, he was left with a metal box filled with lists. They have no idea who's doing this or why, but they share one goal: survive. Sam wants to stay put and wait for help, but Tyler is far more determined. He trusts only himself and wants to find a way out of this nightmare as soon as possible. Asking her not to shoot him, he attempts to walk away, and Sam, unsure of what else to do, decides to follow him while keeping a bit of distance. A few minutes later, they hear voices nearby and realize they're not alone. Instead of hiding, Tyler calls out, hoping to make contact. As they approach, they meet Ryan, a military serviceman who served in Afghanistan and is just as confused as they are. After talking with them and realizing they're all in the same situation, Ryan calls the others out of hiding. With him are Denise and a teenager named Ethan. Like the rest, they woke up in the field earlier, each finding one strange item left for them. Ryan has a flashlight, Ethan a compass, and Denise a hunting knife. Examining the objects, Ryan notices that each one has a special symbol, suggesting they're connected somehow, possibly created by some odd organization, or maybe meant to interact in a specific way. Soon, the 5 strangers set out together with one shared mission: find a way out of the cornfield. Using the compass to guide them, they move forward until they hear a sharp, piercing noise that sounds like an air raid siren. Confused and shaken, they press on, but the strangeness isn't over. Nearby, Denise finds a human-shaped scarecrow dressed in a bloodstained shirt, a sight disturbing enough to stop all of them cold. Then they hear something rushing toward them. They prepare for an attack, but instead, they meet Cameron, a frightened stranger who appears to be the 6th participant in someone's deadly game, a game whose rules none of them know. Cameron is terrified and reluctant to talk to anyone, but Tyler manages to calm her down. She explains that she's a programmer and was in her own apartment when she suddenly found herself here. The others want to know what item she was given, but she insists she didn't receive anything. This immediately raises suspicion and distrust, but Tyler and Sam defend the frightened woman from the others' accusations. Wanting to get as far away from the scarecrow as possible, the 6 of them continue heading north, following Ethan's compass. Eventually, they cross a low fence and settle in the middle of the field for the night. That night, Denise, Sam, and Tyler talk quietly, trying to remember the final hours before they were taken. Denise was waiting at home for her boyfriend. Tyler fell asleep while waiting for his daughter to come home from school, and Sam had been working a night shift at the hospital. Trying to find a pattern or a culprit, they begin to suspect that the kidnapper might actually be one of the players. Suspicion falls on Cameron and Ryan, mostly because of how calm they are, and because they were able to sleep at all. But Tyler believes the truth is far more complicated. Very few people could abduct multiple strangers so quickly and silently. Suddenly, another siren-like alarm pierces the night. But what terrifies them even more is the businessman who appears out of nowhere. He's holding a flashlight and a revolver just like theirs, but he looks exhausted and filthy, as if he's been trapped here for days. Realizing there's no way out, the businessman decides to end his life, but before he can, something unseen grabs him and drags him into the darkness. Everyone reacts differently. Sam, Tyler, and Ethan freeze in shock. Ryan immediately charges toward the darkness, determined to kill whatever did this. Denise and Cameron choose to run for their lives. At one point, Denise trips and begs Cameron for help, but Cameron ignores her. For her, survival is the only priority. Desperate to escape, Cameron doesn't notice a wooden fence ahead and crashes into it. A moment later, Denise finds the same woman who abandoned her, but any anger instantly disappears when she sees the jagged wooden shard impaled in Cameron's abdomen. She's bleeding out. Ryan arrives soon after, having failed to track down the creature. Meanwhile, Sam, Ethan, and Tyler regroup and search for the others. Once reunited, the group gives Cameron emergency medical aid, removing the broken wood and trying to stop the bleeding. The monster is still nearby, so they hold her down and cover her mouth to keep her from making noise that could attract it. At dawn, the group shares what they know and realize they're not alone. There are other small groups trapped in similar conditions. Whoever organized this and whatever their goal is remains a mystery, but one thing is clear: staying alive means sticking together. As they continue forward, Sam notices a strange dead tree in the distance but doesn't think much of it. Bound by their shared ordeal, the group finally begins to talk more openly. It turns out Cameron is a government programmer, and Denise works for the Pentagon. The only entity capable of abducting people like them would be the government itself, running inhumane experiments in pursuit of secret objectives. At some point, most of the group decides to step away to use the bathroom, while Tyler and Ryan check the cornfield, hoping to find something to eat. But the entire crop has rotted, and the field looks like an endless prop in someone's twisted game. The strangest and most suspicious person turns out to be Cameron, which makes Ryan decide to follow her. As he approaches, he sees a flask in her hands and realizes she's been lying. Cameron was only thinking of herself. She hid the water so she could quench her thirst without sharing it with the others. This infuriates the former soldier and the teenager, but Sam and Tyler step in to defend Cameron, since she's clearly terrified and injured. A few minutes later, another alarm sounds, and the group realizes that Denise is left completely alone in another part of the field. At the same time, she hears someone approaching and calling for the others. Naively, she thinks it's one of her friends playing a joke, but it's an invisible monster that instantly attacks her, killing her brutally and dragging her body away. Hearing her scream, Ryan and the others rush to help, but they arrive too late. The only thing they find is Denise's bloodied clothing. Sam and Tyler would have wanted to help her, but it's too late, and now they have to think about their own safety. Deciding not to linger in a place where a killer is at large, the 5 survivors continue on. Soon, Ethan notices that the compass is broken and no longer points north. This sparks a conflict, during which it becomes clear that they've been walking in circles and have returned to their starting point, right back by the creepy mannequin. Being more careful this time, the group notices a metal spigot sticking out of the ground. Sam thinks quickly and realizes that the compass isn't just for navigation, it's also a kind of key that can be used in another way. By using the compass with the spigot, she turns on the water, allowing them to wash up and quench their thirst. Now it's clear, the compass wasn't leading them north, it was leading them to a water source, which explains why they couldn't get anywhere. Sam realizes that all the items they've found are part of a bigger puzzle. Each one holds unique value, and if used correctly, they might solve the mystery. It could even be the key to freedom, but not everyone agrees. Cameron insists it's all nonsense and that they just need to move in a certain direction. Sam disagrees, having noticed an image of an old, dry tree on the flask, the same one she had seen earlier that day. Believing that the next clue is there, she suggests they go back, and most of the group supports her idea. Just as the group begins to move, the mannequin shoots a dart from its eye, embedding it in Ryan's body. The dart carries an unknown red serum. He doesn't understand what it is at first, but soon he feels its effects. He becomes angry, aggressive, and incredibly strong. Trying to use it for good, the former soldier saves Sam from a deadly trap. But within minutes, his rage takes over, and he nearly kills Cameron, who had insulted him. Afterwards, he explains to Sam about the strange serum and its effects on his body. He also admits that he used to be a commander whose actions led to the death of his entire squad. Ryan has always tried to be a good person, but one bad situation led to many innocent deaths. Now he wants to make up for his past mistakes and save the others. Though he's no longer sure he can control his inner rage, the serum affects him in unpredictable ways. That night, the group of 5 finds the old tree and inspects it carefully. At first, it seems like Sam's decision was a mistake, until Ethan starts prying at the bark and discovers something hidden beneath. Carved into the trunk is something that resembles a map, though the route remains unclear. Spotting a square on a nearby fence post that matches the shape of a lantern's base, Ryan and Tyler set up a light source. After adjusting it slightly, they see a detailed map, likely showing a path out of the cornfield. It seems like a major breakthrough. They might finally have a plan to escape. But just then, an unknown creature attacks Tyler, dragging him into the darkness. Sam and Ryan rush after the monster to save him. The creature stabs Tyler twice in the abdomen, but Ryan intervenes, pushing it away. He leaves Tyler in Sam's care, handing her the flask, and tells her he wants to hunt down the predator in the cornfield. Meanwhile, cowardly Cameron tries to escape again. At one point, she falls and loses her glasses, leaving her nearly blind. Hearing a sound behind her, she stabs with a knife, but instead of hitting the monster, she strikes Ethan in the chest, killing him instantly. Ryan witnesses this and disappears into the darkness, determined to hunt the creature and face it alone. Cameron is left completely alone. Her only chance of survival is to run as fast and as far as she can. Meanwhile, Sam treats Tyler's wounds and stops the bleeding. After spending the night in a quieter spot, the pair continues and discovers a new mannequin. It looks slightly different, most notably wearing a different shirt. Examining it closely, Sam realizes that the squares on the shirt form a map that's been in plain sight all along. Studying it reveals the approximate route, though some details remain unclear. As they continue searching for clues, Tyler notices a strange lever beneath the mannequin. Pulling it reveals a protective cover hiding a metal box with a set of switches and a mysterious card. The card contains instructions for activating the switches. Using the compass, the card, and their own intuition, Sam and Tyler trigger the alarm, and part of the field literally shifts away, as if the entire environment isn't natural at all but a massive stage set. Setting off down a new path, the pair comes across a strange concrete building with bizarre, twisting corridors. As soon as they step inside, the door slams shut, trapping them. Tyler is ready to give up and die. He's bleeding badly and barely has the strength to move. Sam stays by his side, offering genuine support. Over the past few days, they've become friends and faced countless challenges together. Asking him to trust her, she encourages Tyler to keep moving forward. At a fork in the hallway, they split up to see what lies around the corners. Sam urges Tyler not to separate, but he presses on and soon finds himself trapped in a sticky, sinking swamp. A door appears between them, leaving Sam forced to watch him struggle. Realizing there must be a way to open the door, she quickly solves a puzzle and discovers a switch hidden underground. Flipping it clears the obstacle and pulls Tyler out just seconds before he suffocates. After tending to his wounds again, Sam notices a red rope leading into the swamp. Pulling it, she retrieves a wooden plank with an impossible labyrinth carved into it, part of the game's puzzle. Using a card found inside a mannequin, Sam matches the pieces of the puzzle and uncovers a full route, detailing all safe paths and hidden traps. Thanks to this, the pair not only escapes the concrete building but also discovers a metal container. Unsure what's inside but unwilling to hesitate, Sam opens it to find a computer, needed to access the next task or coordinates for the exit from the deadly game. The computer won't start, until Tyler realizes the key is a bullet. Inserting it into a slot, Sam activates the computer and pulls the switch, but it's not enough. Seeing that the system requires dual activation, they circle around the device and find an identical switch on the other side. Unfortunately, the mechanism needs not just two people, but two items, the bullet and a knife, acting as the keys. The knife belongs to another player, so they'll have to wait for them or go back. Tyler is too exhausted and badly injured, so Sam leaves him in the container, promising to handle things alone. Moving quickly along the route they've already cleared, Sam returns to the main part of the cornfield. Spotting a fire, she heads toward it and suddenly runs into Ryan. The former soldier seems slightly unhinged and seething with rage, but he doesn't pose a threat to her. He has no intention of helping or leaving with her. His sole mission is to kill the creature. Moments later, Ryan vanishes, and Sam sees the knife embedded in Ethan's body. Knowing Tyler won't wait forever, she rushes to the still living teen to help him. But at that moment, he's killed by the cornfield monster. Sam realizes it's not a spirit or creature, it's a human. Observing the victim's disguise and the maddening red eyes, she understands this is a killer transformed by the serum. Ryan was affected in the same way, driven insane and rejecting freedom. The former soldier challenges the killer to a duel, urging Sam to run as fast as she can. Ryan and the killer face off in a deadly fight. Despite the serum's influence and his complete madness, the cornfield killer is weaker than the former soldier and takes several wounds. It seems Ryan is about to kill him and save everyone else, but at the last moment, he falls into a trap and plunges onto sharp spikes. Meanwhile, Sam grabs the knife and returns to Tyler. They manage to activate the computer, but it's all an illusion. The puzzles, clues, useful items, everything, they're all part of a deception, a false sense of choice and control. They are doomed. Disheartened but not giving up, Sam gathers old grass and leaves inside the container and sets them on fire, destroying the computer and the surveillance cameras. She supports Tyler, urging him to believe in a positive outcome. But at that moment, the killer finds them, delivering a fatal blow to Tyler's back. He then attacks Sam, slowly driving the knife into her stomach, claiming that no one will escape. Refusing to surrender even now, Sam sets the killer's disguise suit on fire. As it ignites, she shoves him into the container and locks it, leaving him to a horrific death. After Sam loses consciousness, she is surrounded by people in gas masks. It becomes clear, this is a government program, where human lives and countless deaths are nothing more than part of an experiment. Sam won't escape, but she's ready to take part in the second phase. Post-credit scene a little later, it turns out Cameron is still alive, searching for a way out. She finds 6 new participants in the game and realizes the nightmare has no end. In that same moment, she is dragged into the forest and killed by a new monster, Ryan. Can we really call someone free if they have to survive by someone else's rules? If the entire environment is designed to control their every decision, do the characters even have a single truly free choice? Share your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.